We're currently exploring the Ries of Galicia in northwest Spain, and we've planned a really epic final 24 hours before we leave for Portugal.
We might have saved the best for last in Spain.
But, as often happens when you live on a sailboat, things didn't go quite as we'd planned.
So, my migraine's come back. I guess showing you a realistic day in the life, because behind the scenes, things have been not great.
But there's always a silver lining. Instead of just 24 hours, we're going to take you along for a full 48 hours of boat life as we say goodbye to Spain and head to Portugal. It's not always glamorous, but this is what it's really like to live aboard a sailboat. Hi, we're Laura and Stu. A year ago we swapped our lives on land for an adventure at sea aboard our 36-foot sailboat Delfino. So far we've explored the coasts of Scotland, England and France, and now we're soaking in the rugged beauty of Galicia and the deep Ries of northwest Spain. As we sail south, we're learning the ropes and gearing up for our ultimate challenge, crossing the Atlantic Ocean. Subscribe and join us for a journey filled with discovery, adventure and delicious food along the way.
Been here in Combarro for a couple of days, just getting some work done and resting and putting the boat back together. We find every once in a while we have to take these periods where it's kind of a week and just sort of get into a bit of a rhythm, otherwise things become a bit crazy. But it's been good to be here. I think we really needed a bit of a break. Today, the plan is to go to some really cool islands. I think we might have saved some of the best of Galician cruising for last, which is pretty exciting. It's 8:34. Had a bit of a lie-in, drinking coffee. Got a bunch of stuff that I need to button up on the boat. Only challenge is Laura had a really bad migraine last night, something that she does get every once in a while. Been a lot better recently, which is great. So we'll just have to see how we get on. One thing that you just really have to keep on top of. Oh, man, the people here are so friendly. Sorry for, I know you were in bed. Oh, sorry, Laura. He was very interested in the boat.
Yeah, is he the other mallow?
He's the other mallow, yeah. Just had a lovely Spanish dude by the name of Juan come on board. He owns the other mallow, and he wanted to look inside and he wanted to look at the cockpit. He's thinking of buying one, and he added me on Facebook. He's very nice.
That's so cute.
He was very sweet. I got a selfie with him.
Did you?
Yeah. That was a good 20 minutes of my day that I really enjoyed spending with Juan. That was extremely cute. Just got to run up to the supermarket, buy a couple of things, because it's going to take us a couple of days to get down. We're planning to head down to Porto after this last stop. Yeah, these are our last few days in Spain, so I want to just make sure that we're fully stocked and ready to go.
Good morning. I am not feeling great this morning. I'm definitely feeling better than I was last night. I think, as Stu's told you, I had a migraine overnight, so I was awake for about 3 hours in the middle of the night. It's thankfully gone off mostly now. I'm still in a little bit of pain, but it's mostly gone. And ordinarily that would mean that we wouldn't film today, but today is our last full day in Spain, and we decided that we were going to film this video and take you along with us. So I hope you're enjoying Stu taking you along to the supermarket, because that's about as good as the content's going to get this morning until I've had a bit more coffee. The reason that we have to move today is that we have a permit for the national park near here to anchor this evening. We also have it for tomorrow as well, but it looks like the weather for the rest of the week is going to be not great to make our next hop into Portugal. So we're going to have to leave for Portugal tomorrow, making this our last day in Spain, which is why I'm filming now. And yeah, all of that good stuff. I'm going to drink my coffee, going to just rest a little bit more, and then hopefully we can start moving in about an hour or so.
Got my bag full of shopping. It's only like 25 euros and really bought tons of veg and some nice croissant things with chocolate in them. But back to the boat, fill her up with water, and then we can head off. Supermarket is all the way up there and up the roads. It's probably about a 10-minute walk away, which is about average for when you're cruising. So even little trips, you got to go back and forth because you carry everything, and honestly, it takes a while. Next up, I got to pay for the stay in the marina. Hola. ¿Qué tal?
Bien.
Bien.
Era delfino.
Sí. Okay, cool. Paid up. That was 132 euros in total for 4 nights, so not bad. I mean, this was supposed to be one of the more expensive marinas around here. We did get 25% off for Cruising Association discount. Still need to like fill up the water and put some diesel in the tank. There's a few bits and bobs that we need to do. It's almost 11, so it shows you just how the time flies when you're cruising like this.
It's our last day in Spain, and I sent Stu to the supermarket to stock up on Spanish things before we left. What has he bought? Heineken.
She just said beer. I didn't know she meant exactly Australia. We have Dutch beer, at least.
Can't say I'll be drinking any of that today, but we have beer.
Finally getting around to filling up the water tanks. And of course, this morning, filling up the water tanks also involved sorting out this cupboard for about 15 minutes.
Did it?
Yeah, it did. It was like just really messy in there. That cupboard is like one of these like never-ending struggles of living on a boat, is keeping those kind of spaces clean. When the boat's been in this kind of at dock or at anchor mode, we do a lot of little things to make it more comfortable. We put bug screens in, we put a shade over the top of the boat often, and they do make a huge difference to comfort, but they take a while to kind of move the boat from go mode, from sailing mode, into relaxed, chilled dock mode. And so what we tend to do is try to chill out for a while in one place and then move the boat a lot day after day after day, and that's kind of what you'll see over the next couple of days. But yeah, so today is just a question of packing up dock mode and putting her into sail mode. So little things like this bug screen in here. This has to come out. This thing gets closed for the first time in like a week. So the boat is finally ready to go. It's basically taken us all morning. It's 5 to 12. We realized that we're low tide though, and the depth at the fuel pontoon is only 1.5 meters. So tide's coming up. So what we're going to do is we're going to have lunch, and hopefully the tide will have come up enough so that we can go to the fuel pontoon.
And I can have another rest.
And Laura can have another rest and some food, which will probably help. On the menu for lunch today is a Spanish style sandwich.
Bocadillo.
From Bocadillo. I've been enjoying making these sandwiches. I'm half American, so I'm a fan of a good sandwich, and when you've got great ingredients like the chorizo and the lovely tomatoes and stuff here, it makes for a pretty damn good sandwich. We're also using that lovely French mayo. It's got a little bit of mustard in it. Turns out really nice. Oh, the chorizo is frozen. We found the breads to be really nice. Look at that. Nice and soft. Yum.
Thank you.
What do you think of this cheese?
Very tasty.
It's quite nutty.
The only Spanish cheese that I'd heard of before coming here was manchego. So I was expecting in the supermarkets to find things sold as manchego. They don't seem to do that. They seem to sell things as by the type of milk that goes into it and whether it is like how aged it is. So whether it's like, they call it semi-curado or curado, so like a little bit aged or quite aged. So this is curado. I can't remember what it's, I think it's a mix of sheep, goat and cow. And we've been buying pre-sliced cheese. So it's still got the rind on it at either end, and it's still got the rind on the top, but they've just pre-cut it into bits, which is very helpful for lunches, underway, and making a quick sandwich, but it's very tasty.
So the ingredients are all so good. Really just carries it. And the chorizo is so paprika-y.
Yep.
It's got so much taste of paprika. And like even a strong taste of pork fat in it, which makes sense. And the bread is like a delicious sour bread. I think we're ready to go. I'll turn the engine on.
Yep.
Alright, dropping. Go ahead and start dropping. Vamos a la pontoon diesel ahora. ¿Está bien?
Okay, no problem.
It's currently just after low tide. Where we were in the marina, we had 3.1 metres of depth. Currently in 3.4. Fuel pontoon says it's 1.5. Charted, yes. If you'll let me finish.
Sorry.
So we think we've got about 0.8 metres of tide at the moment, maybe a little bit more. So we should be okay, provided it's not silted up. So provided no one's chucked like a shopping trolley or something in it, which is what I'd expect if we were in the UK, but we'll see.
Seems okay.
Yeah, so far so good. But cool. Right, I'm gonna go get ready with the line then.
Nice. Yeah, 3.2. Plenty of depth.
So that was 140 litres of diesel for €243. So not the most expensive, but not the cheapest either. We managed to not spill any on the deck, so good day overall. I should probably also say that the last time that we filled up with diesel was right at the start of June, so 2 months ago, and in that time we motored down quite a bit of France because we didn't have any wind, and across most of Biscay, and we've also done some pretty chunky motoring days while we've been in Spain, so we've done a lot of miles in that time. So although this was quite a pricey fill up, we don't have to do it that often. I have to say I really do not enjoy mooring while feeling a bit crappy. It's like physical exertion and bending down make my head pound and make me feel a bit sick, but equally I don't quite have the mental capacity to be in charge of driving the boat either. So it's generally, but even though it's less comfortable for me, it's generally safer for the boat if I am doing the ropes, but it's not my favourite thing to do. We'll say though, it's still better than some of the things that I had to do with migraine in my previous corporate job. Stu thinks it's an easy drive off, so I get to not deal with the lines to leave and I can drive instead.
The fuel pontoon right there. We're going out that way. Nicely helmed, Laura. It's now 1 o'clock and we're finally off the dock. And we're fueled, we got water. We're ready for these badass islands. Ready to leave Spain too, so go do the lines and the fenders and stuff. Tell you what, you really have to enjoy the process in this lifestyle because everything takes its time. I guess it's just an opportunity to be outside and to be working the body a little bit. The wind is blowing directly down this big bay, and so many boats are tacking out, but just we won't be in here for long. And sometimes you just don't have the energy for it. I mean, it would be a good sail, 16 knots apparent. We'll round the corner and then we'll get some better wind. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. Plus, we're going to have a lot of sailing soon, all the way down the Portuguese coast.
We're sailing! Peace and quiet.
This is so much nicer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is really something special. When you get these kind of conditions with steady wind and flat seas and you're reaching along, the sun's out, it's a good temperature. The only problem is there's a ton of lobster pots everywhere. But I think we're okay right now. But yeah, this is awesome. And the island we're heading to is just appearing out of the headland. Looks pretty epic. Looks pretty cool. I think we might have saved the best for last in Spain. So good.
The last time we had similar sailing conditions to this was as we were coming back down south from the northern tip of Scotland. So as we came back past Malé, we had very similar wind strength and angle, and we had a whole pod of dolphins around us. And that was 11 months ago. And because we were in Scotland, we were both in like jumpers and all of our warm weather gear. So it's nice to finally have those conditions again, and it'll be a little bit warmer this time around.
And it's crazy how much more comfortable I feel today than I felt on that day. That day was so intense in comparison. Laura and I have just come a long way as sailors. You know, we're just way more comfortable with the boat and how to handle her and how to set her up, and yeah, things are going well.
What else could we be eating for our last day in Spain? But Raffles, come on. The economic size bag.
One thing that we've been working a ton on is to get Delfino's sails balanced. What this means is that the forward sail and the mainsail are both generating more or less the same amount of power. If one's overpowering the other, the boat has this tendency to turn. And you can tell that it's balanced by where the helm is. This here is the middle of the helm. And just having a little bit of there are ruffles in the background. Having just a little bit of helm, weather helm it's called, is good. It means that the boat will have a tendency to turn up into the wind and a gust. So this for me is pretty perfect. Pretty happy with that. Fun while it lasted, but the wind's now died, so we've got the motor on. Still got the main sheet up, main sail, sorry. But I think we're pretty close now to the anchorage. This is the Rio de Vigo that we're entering, which is surprisingly busy. There's like some big ships, looks like some kind of big container ships, and a ton of other sailboats around. So, and I guess this is kind of the beating heart of the southern Rias, which makes sense. Vigo's quite a big city. And you can tell that the entire southern side of that Ria is just nothing but buildings and homes and houses, but still looks very nice. I can understand why so many people want to live here.
What's on each side of the boat at the moment is like such a contrast.
It's true, yeah. Think of it.
Rugged natural park island on our starboard and on our port with like giant city and tanker. But yeah, it's been wild.
Vigo
does look huge. Yeah.
Looks like a cool island, even if it's pretty busy. It's 4:30 and we're just about arriving in the anchorage. Pretty sure those are all people waiting for the ferry. So much for a beautiful, secluded island. But I guess that's just what it's like in Europe. There's a lot of people here. So we've arrived into our new home. Quite nice, quite beautiful.
Quite nice.
It's good to be here. I always feel a sigh of relief once we get to a spot like this.
Yeah. Anchor set. Now we don't have to do anything if we don't want to.
Exactly. One of the things that's always the case on a boat though is that we've just power set the anchor, but I still need to go mess with the snubber and do a bunch of stuff. So it's just the way of living on a boat. But we are rewarded with this. That was chilly. Very quick, but it'll do it.
So my migraine's come back. So I'm feeling pretty bummed. Yeah, I've just not been feeling great for the past week or so. Sort of feels like it's been brewing for a little while. This is probably going to be our last night on anchor for potentially at least 6 months, and we haven't really been able to enjoy it. Haven't really been able to go ashore, and it's oddly swelly.
It is weirdly swelly, isn't it?
I guess showing you a realistic day in the life, because behind the scenes things have been not great.
No, not great today. And even if it's not swell, it's like small wake, but even if we are moving around, it's still quite a beautiful spot.
Yeah, it is a beautiful spot, but
quite eerie with all the clouds.
Weather is at least making me feel less guilty about not going for a walk. Good morning. I am feeling so much better today. Had a proper night's sleep, no migraine overnight, so I actually got like a good 8 hours of sleep, and it was super peaceful here, which was really nice. So we're back in business. Oh, hello.
Hello. So happy to have my wife back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Given I in particular did a terrible job of filming yesterday, and I have no idea what Stu shot for you. And to be fair, he was looking after me, so had a lot to deal with yesterday.
Yesterday you had Stu cam basically all of the day.
Exactly. So we're going to film another day just in case.
Or at least another morning.
But we are planning to go about 40 nautical miles today into Portugal, which is very exciting. And the Portuguese coast is pretty flat and boring with nowhere really to anchor. So we need to make it all the way to a town called Viana do Castelo, I don't know.
Something
yeah,
like that.
I will put it on the screen. It's going to be about 8 hours of sailing, and before we head off we're going to try and have a little bit of pasta just to like line the stomachs and make sure that my blood sugar doesn't dip too low so I don't get a migraine and I don't get seasick, and but I don't want to eat loads, and we don't want to have to be cooking loads of stuff underway, because then that will also contribute to seasickness. So it's a delicate balancing act today. But I hope you enjoy coming along with us for day 2 into Portugal. The ferry wake has arrived, making all of this a bit more challenging. There you go.
Noise. Thank you.
We are going to do 1.5-hour watches. We're currently saying we've got about 6 hours to go, so we're going to do 4 1.5-hour watches, and I get to be off watch first, so see you later.
While we were looking forward to exploring Portugal, we were sad to be leaving the rugged scenery of Galicia behind, and we spent our watches watching the hills roll past. Although this was a relatively short sail, so not strictly necessary to implement a watch system, we find it much easier to do them on day sails like this. It minimises the time that either of us is in the sun, and it makes it very clear who's in charge of the boat, avoiding scenarios where we're both in the cockpit but neither of us are paying attention, which can easily happen when we've both been up and trying to pay attention to what's going on for 5 or 6 hours solid.
I heard this bang noise and I was like, oh my god, we're getting attacked by orcas. We're not, they're just setting off fireworks offshore. because Spain, it's like midday, but why not set off fireworks?
Going on, Laura?
They're still going for it. It's like 15 minutes later and they are still setting off fireworks on a random Tuesday.
Those daytime fireworks are something that I think they exist pretty much all over Catholic Europe, or at least all over sort of southern Europe. I know when I was growing up in Malta, it would be a constant feature of the summer is them blowing up these bombas, they would call the bombas. And I think they're just there to create a racket, you know, just the goal is to announce to the world that they're having a party.
There were some sparkly ones going off here. I could just about see them like flashing, so...
Fair enough.
I think they've finally stopped.
Yeah.
We were both expecting that this coastline would get pretty flat and boring once we left the Ries, but actually it's still looking pretty cliffy and mountainous right up to the sea, and it's still reminding me a lot of what we saw up in Scotland, which has been one of the things that I've liked the most about cruising Galicia, is that the landscapes that you can see while you're out on the water are really amazing and beautiful, and one of my favourite things about cruising around here, I think.
So the wind is finally starting to build today. We might actually have enough wind to sail soon. We've kind of got two options for sailing. Option one, which I'm going to call is the lazy option, is to continue motoring and then roll the Genoa out once we have enough wind. And option two, which is probably the more pure blood sailing option, is to put the main up, then get the spinnaker out, then put the spinnaker down once there's too much wind, and then roll the Genoa out. I don't know. What are you feeling, Laura?
I think if you hadn't branded it the lazy option, I'd be team option one all the way. So if we could give option one a bit of a rebrand to the cruisers option,
yeah.
I'm team option one.
Fair enough.
Because that also means we could have some lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm into that. Making lunch on my off watch, I just realised I really can't.
Go on then, what gourmet lunch have you made me?
Well, at your request. This is what you asked for, I might add. Yeah, that's right, you do want it. It's the delicious combination of Marmite and Laughing Cow cheese.
Woo!
Stitch me up. Saying that I was fine.
Oh, this is such a toddler lunch and I'm totally okay with it. Spain, 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 Spain. Pause.
And Portugal.
Hey!
That is actually surprisingly exciting.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, put the flag up. It's just a bit of admin, but to be honest, that made me pretty jazzed. So good. I can't believe that we crossed Biscay and we did all of Spain. Yeah, I'm feeling really proud today, Laura. I think we should be proud of how far we've come. Let's go do Portugal.
This is the first country that we've sailed to that I've never been to before, so that's pretty exciting. I've been to Spain and France a lot, like both on holidays growing up and as an adult, but I've never been to Portugal before, so I'm looking forward to checking it out. I know 0 words of Portuguese though, so I'm going to have to get on that for the rest of this passage, do some quick Googling and work out like, do you even know how to say hello in Portuguese?
Hola.
Is it?
Hola.
Ah, okay, that's surprisingly easy.
I think it's supposed to be surprisingly similar to Spanish, but with totally different pronunciation.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm just reading the manual.
Yeah.
The pilot, yeah. Have you read this? Beware of the very strong streams running around the marina entrance and around the berths close to it. Merits more than usual caution. Can't be worse than some of the French ones. So yeah, this docking might be one of the trickier ones we've done for a while. We learned a lot in France that we're going to put to test here. But it sounds like it might be med-mooring, and there's also going to be a bunch of tricky tides as you come into the entrance to the marina. So yeah, it'll be a good test of our skills. I'm confident though. Ooh, there's another lobster pot directly ahead.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Never seen so many windsurfers, kite surfers in one place. Crazy. This is absolutely insane. I cannot believe how many of them there are.
So stressful.
It's all right. It's all okay. We're doing great.
We managed to dodge all of the kiteboarders, contend with the tide, and we made it onto the dock, thankfully without having to do a complicated Mediterranean-style mooring.
I love this feeling of arriving in a new country. Just so good, so rewarding coming by sailboat as well. You know, you really have to work for it and it makes it feel so much better. Love it.
Can't believe that we are in Portugal now. It's a bit crazy. Because we were in France for so long, it really feels like although we were in Spain for a whole month, it feels like we were there for like barely any time at all. And I have mixed feelings about Galicia, I think. Like, the people were lovely, the scenery was beautiful, the towns were beautiful. And we really, really liked A Coruña and Santiago. But all of the seaside towns that we've been in recently, they all just felt quite samey, and all the restaurants felt quite samey. And we were getting a bit bored of them. The loud amplified music that was coming out of like every single town didn't really help. It didn't really feel cute and quaint and like a sort of seaside fishing village because of all the pumping music and because they were all quite busy. But equally, none of them really had the like big town kind of buzz. There wasn't a huge amount to do, or the beaches were quite crowded, and there wasn't a whole lot going on in them apart from there just being like a bloody ton of people. So yeah. On balance, I did really like Galicia, and I think I liked the northern part of it and A Coruña more than the southern Ríos, which did surprise me because I thought the southern Ríos were going to be our favourite cruising ground kind of the year so far. So yeah, it's exciting to be in a new place. Really looking forward to checking out Portugal. And I think now that we've been in a country for a month, we kind of know how to pace things a little bit more to make sure that we see the most of the place without boring ourselves. And yeah, we're just a little bit more kind of on balance with things. So yeah, looking forward to checking out Portugal. We're in the town of Viana now, and tomorrow is going to be a big day because I need to go to the supermarket. So it's going to be the first Portuguese supermarket, which I'm very excited about, and I hope you are excited about too. So see you next time.